Good evening, everybody. I'm Fictional Crystals, and this was a cute episode. I recently got a new computer and some new stuff to edit with, so hopefully that means higher quality videos. I'm still learning how to use it, but it's pretty good so far. Though sadly with this new editing stuff, my avatar's movements are going to be a little more jumpy. I'm sure if you've seen my videos before, you would have already realized that though. Other than that, hopefully everything else will be better quality with this new computer and new editing stuff. Anyway, let's talk about this episode. So I watched this episode with a friend, and before it started I said a few things that I wanted to happen. I wanted the time Lapis almost drowned Connie to be mentioned. We had both seen the leaks of Lapis and Peridot dressed up as Amethyst and Garnet, so I hoped that Pumpkin would be Pearl. And we both wanted a new version of We Are the Crystal Gems, but with Connie, Lapis, Peridot, and Pumpkin instead. Funnily enough, it all ended up happening. Unfortunately, something that almost everyone wanted to happen didn't. Peridot still did not poof. This was definitely a more comedic episode where they tried helping people, but it didn't really work out. Greg and the gems arrive back on Earth, where they are greeted by Connie, who was doing a good job keeping everything in order. Though there was a few things that didn't quite go to plan while the crystal gems were gone. While Connie explains what happened, it cuts to a flashback where she's on the phone to Steven. She sets off to protect Beach City while they're gone like he told her to, and ends up running into Peridot and Lapis, who were also told to protect Beach City. Peridot was showing Lapis her old room, and what she did in her old room. Steven already told Connie about Peridot and Peridot about Connie, so they knew who each other were. But Lapis had no idea who Connie was, despite having almost drowned her in the past. Their meeting reminded me of the time that Greg mentioned Lapis broke his leg. Lapis said she almost drowned a lot of people. I would like to know more about when that happened. The four of them, including Pumpkin, decide to take the roles of the crystal gems. Well, it was more like Peridot decided everyone's roles. Of course, Peridot made herself Garnet since she thinks of herself as the leader of the crystal gems anyway.
The new leader of the crystal gems?
What?
Peridot made one of her best friends, Lapis, play another one of her best friends, Amethyst. Connie was Steven for obvious reasons, and Pumpkin was Pearl. Pumpkin even had the party hat nose like Jamie had when he dressed up as Pearl. Peridot just really didn't care about who was going to be Pearl, did she?
Ugh, why doesn't she ever tell us anything? This is why we don't listen to her!
Hey! Why aren't you listening to me?
What made this whole episode even funnier was the fact that Lapis and Peridot's voice actresses originally auditioned for Amethyst and Garnet. In this episode, Peridot said stuff like the Garnet or the Steven, which she hasn't done in a very long time.
He also said he wanted me to stop calling him the Steven.
They check Beach City to make sure everything's okay. Lars and Sadie have been getting on a lot better since the episode The New Lars. It looks like she's reading one of his magazines too. As for Ronaldo, he was just up to his usual rock hunting business. How was Connie possibly able to see the central part of Beach City from the temple though? Like, seriously, there's a giant temple blocking the way from the central part. I'm trying not to overthink this, but geez, Connie, did your eyes get healed so well that you now have supervision? I really loved the impersonations the new crystal gems did of the original crystal gems. Especially the ones Lapis did. The new crystal gems parodied a part of We Are the Crystal Gems, which I found hilarious. Their first mission together was to clean Mayor Dewey's van. Peridot's gotten a whole lot better with her metal powers. And the animation whenever Lapis uses her water powers always looks great. Buck thought the gem's carwash was great too, so he brought a few people to check it out. Ronaldo came along with his scooter, which he also had in Beach City Drift. While cleaning the car, Lapis and Peridot got into a fight, causing some destruction to the car wash. Connie manages to stop them from fighting by doing a Steven speech. It wasn't quite as good as Steven's speeches, but at least it worked anyway.
You both love me and I love both of you.
We all love each other, and you all love me.
When they got back to the temple, Lapis and Peridot kept arguing on who was going to be which crystal gem. In my opinion, they'd both be pretty good pearls, but neither of them wanted to be pearls, they both wanted to be Garnet. I mean, if they both really wanted to be Garnet, they could have tried fusing. It would be accurate you got the blue one and the angry one.
This is Garnet.
Connie gave an inspiring Connie speech on how they should do things their way instead of the way of the original crystal gems. Stevonnie would be the greatest at speeches. Lapis and Peridot follow Connie's advice and are able to fix the car wash their way. The only thing they couldn't fix was the sign, so they made a new one which looks a lot like a Greg version of Zoltron. This episode was like a parody of one of the Steven Universe fan-made alternate universes called Mom Swapped. Basically, in the CU, Lapis, Jasper, and Peridot are the original crystal gems, and Garnet, Amethyst, and Pearl are the original homeworld gems. In some versions of the CU, Connie and Steven also switch places. And in this episode, we did have Lapis, Peridot, and Connie take the roles of 3 of the original crystal gems. I wonder if the Craniverse reads Steven Universe fanfiction. Talking about the episode again, I do wish it had more to do with the plot. But I guess they needed a more relaxed episode after everything that just happened. In Adventures in Light Distortion, they said they'd pick the Rubies up on their way back to Earth, which as far as we know they didn't do. I'm sure the Rubies will be back anyway, but sadly it was not in this episode. Well, anyway, thanks for watching and go Crystal Temps.